You are 13 years old. They change your name. In a single night, you leave behind your language, your religion, your family. Two paths lie ahead. A life in the darkest corner of Topkapi, or becoming one of the most powerful women in an empire. Today, we enter the Ottoman palace through the eyes of a concubine. The path into the palace wasn't the same for every girl. Some arrived as spoils of war, some were purchased from slave markets, and some were gifted by their own families. In the 17th and 18th centuries, most of these girls came from the Caucasus, especially Circassian and Georgian communities. The moment she stepped into the palace, her old identity ended. A new name, a new religious education, and an unknown hierarchy ahead of her. The harem had its own rigid career ladder. You started as the newest girl. Over time, if you mastered a skill, you became a kalfa, and if you rose to seniority and started teaching others, you became an usta, a mistress of the craft. Training covered the Quran, Ottoman literacy, music, sewing, and palace etiquette. This wasn't a school, it was a survival strategy. The better your craft, the safer you were. Most of the day passed in crowded dormitories, under strict order. The Valide Sultan held the highest authority inside the harem. Nothing changed without her approval. Bath hours, meal order, even walking routes were determined by seniority. There was no freedom, but within that order, it was possible to carve out a small place of your own. Catching the Sultan's eye was a path to power, but it was an exception that happened to only a handful of the thousands of women in the harem. That's exactly why Hurrem Sultan's story is so extraordinary. From a concubine, she rose to Haseki, and from there to real influence over state affairs. But that path was also filled with jealousy, rivalry, and political intrigue. Not everyone's dream, but everyone's fear. If you were in this palace, would you take that risk, or stay quiet and safe? Tell us in the comments. For most concubines, the ending wasn't marriage to a sultan, it was marriage to a craftsman. Women who served for years and reached a certain age were freed, sent out with a dowry to build a life outside the palace. From the outside, this might look ordinary, but for that era, it was one of the rare paths for a woman to have her own home, her own family. Being a concubine was neither a fairy tale nor simply a tragedy. It was the story of women who, within a rigid system, managed to survive and sometimes to change history. Next time you walk through the walls of Topkapi, remember, those walls carry the stories of thousands of women whose names we've forgotten. If these stories are worth telling, support the channel with a subscribe and a like. Next episode, we head to another corner of the palace.